Am I the a-hole for not wanting to be alone with my stepdaughters during custody time? My partner has two daughters from his previous relationship. One is 11, the other is 15. They're good kids overall, and I do care about them, but if I'm being completely honest, teenage girls can be a lot to handle, especially when you're not their biological parent. There's constant drama between them. One minute they're giggling together over a TikTok, the next they're shouting at each other over something as small as who took whose charger. The older one has really started leaning into that teenage everything is unfair phase. She rolls her eyes at almost anything I say, argues with her dad over rules, and can be incredibly sarcastic. The younger one is sweet in her own way, but she's still prone to emotional meltdowns when things don't go her way. We're talking tears, slam doors, and complete shutdowns over something like not getting her favorite snack. I don't have kids of my own. I've been in their lives for about 3 years now since my partner and I started dating, and we've been living together for roughly 18 months. While I've gotten used to their personalities, I still wouldn't call myself a natural with kids, and there are moments where I genuinely feel out of my depth, especially when emotions run high. Last fall, we relocated about 40 miles away from our old city because my partner got a significant promotion. The move was great for his career, but it also meant the girl's mom stayed in the old area, which added more driving for custody exchanges. I'm a high school teacher, so my schedule has some flexibility. My partner works in software development, which can be demanding, but he's generally good at being present when the girls are with us. Normally, during the school year, we have the girls every other weekend. That's manageable for me. But here's the complication. My partner is really into competitive cycling. He's part of a cycling club based in our old city. Even after we moved, he continued going there to ride with them on Saturday evenings and Sunday mornings. This isn't just a quick trip. It means he stays overnight at his buddy's place near the old town. When we first moved in together, I wasn't thrilled about this arrangement. It meant that during the weekends the girls were here, I was often left to manage them by myself for part of the time. But I tried to be understanding because his ex had apparently been very controlling about his hobbies, and I didn't want to fall into that same pattern. I figured that since it was only every other weekend during the school year, I could handle it. Well, summer custody just changed everything. Instead of every other weekend, we now have the girls for alternating 2-week periods. That's a lot more time together, and it means a lot more potential for sibling fights, emotional outbursts, and general teenage chaos. In a recent conversation, I found out he fully intends to keep doing his Saturday night cycling club even during these 2-week stretches. In other words, he'd still leave me alone overnight with both girls during his custody time. That's when I reminded him of the agreement we had. When the girls are with us, we're both present and engaged as a family. We had talked about this early on because I never wanted to become the default babysitter during his custody periods. He brushed it off, saying it's just one night, that I'm overreacting, and that I should be fine handling them alone. Here's the thing, I really struggle being the only adult here with them. It's not just a kids will be kids situation, they actively stress me out when they start fighting or spiraling emotionally. As their step-parent, I also feel like I'm walking a very fine line. I'm not comfortable enforcing serious discipline because I'm not their mom, and I don't want to cross boundaries that could cause resentment. So when big arguments happen, I'm basically just damage controlling until he comes home. And it's not like I'm doing nothing for them already. I handle most of the household management, the cooking, and the daily logistics during their visits, largely because my schedule is more flexible. So it feels like he's piling full-time solo parenting on top of everything else, for the sake of a hobby. What bothers me the most, though, is the message this sends to the girls. This isn't work travel or a family emergency. This is a personal choice to prioritize cycling over spending time with them during the only periods he has them. I feel like if you're a parent, especially a divorced one with limited custody, your time with your kids should take priority over everything else. He can still cycle on weekends when they're not here. I've told him I'm not comfortable being the only adult with them overnight during his custody time, and now he's acting like I'm trying to control him or stop him from having hobbies. I honestly just think I'm setting a fair boundary and protecting everyone, myself, him, and the girls from unnecessary stress. So, am I the a-hole for pushing back on this and asking him to skip his overnight rides when the girls are here?